All right, boys and girls, we continue our smart offseason. We bring back Tevin Coleman. I haven't seen what the contract is yet, but I do really like this move. This was a running back that I really wanted the New York Jets to bring back because I thought he was a nice 1-2 punch with Michael Carter. Now, I do think that we should target maybe in the fourth and fifth rounds a bigger type running back, someone that we might be able to use more on the goal line. But I really, really like Tevin Coleman. I mean, you look at what the Jets are doing right now. They're being smart with their money. They get Braxton Berrios back for $6 million. You get Laken Tomlinson in here for like $12 million, but he knows the scheme. There's no learning curve with Laken Tomlinson. And then Coleman, it just plugs a hole. It's one less thing you got to be worried about. Welcome in, guys. On your way in, make sure you hit that like button. Do a little half-hour stream or so. Then I got to go have some dinner. Then we're going to come back for the call-in show. Man, this is just nice. Nice to see this. Superior Vinastar, GMBJ, Jets fan, Matt Curtis, Eminon, Allie Lewis, Harry W., Andrew, Bay, Nick, Chris, Albert, David, Bay. Yeah, I said Bay already. What's up, guys? Welcome on in. I love it. Chris Brannigan says, we can use a thumper in the draft. Yes, that's what I think we could use one right on the goal line there. Matt Curtis says, can we get Marcus Williams tomorrow? I want to get him tonight. I want it to happen while we're on stream tonight. I want someone on the phone to just start losing their marbles. Like, we got him. Oh, God, I hope so. That would be fantastic. I know I don't want to spend like a crazy ton of money, but like Marcus Williams would be a fun one to get. Andrew says, I like the approach. I want them to shell out one more big contract, hopefully, to Marcus Williams. I think that's where a lot of Jet fans are. I think that's the one we're hoping for. Eminon! What's up, dude? David says, happy Xmas. I say we go Dante Jackson at corner, draft one in the second round, and draft Kyle Hamilton at 4. I'd be so... I don't want to say so mad at Kyle Hamilton, but I really don't want to take Kyle Hamilton. I'm good with Dante Jackson, and I would prefer... I guess it depends what we do at wide receiver, because you probably got to go edge rusher or receiver, or edge rusher or corner in the draft. And it doesn't look like receiver's happening. But I'm hoping receiver in the second round. That's kind of where I'm looking for. Jason says he's loving how our offensive line is looking. I completely agree. David says third and sixth pick won't hurt a number 1 receiver. Third and sixth pick won't hurt for a number 1. I'm not sure what that means. I want to get you tonight. Well, you're going to have to call in, buddy. Gonna have to call in. GMB says, Kyle Hamilton, third best player in the draft at 4 would be a real steal. Don't need Marcus Williams. I don't know if it's a real steal coming at 4 with a safety, but I see what you're trying to say here. Overall value compared to the actual draft selection. Allie Lewis is hoping for Allen Robinson. Me too. Me too, Ollie. Did I just call you Allie? I think I called you Allie. Ali. Sorry about that. Super says, do you think Stephon Gilmore would be a good fit? I don't know what he's going to cost, because he looks like he wants to go to a championship caliber team, and it seems like the San Francisco 49ers and the Jets are the 2 teams that are in on him, and he would probably sign for less to go to the 49ers. And I'll be honest, I don't really want to overpay for someone that's missed like 14 games over 2 years. So I would pass on Gilmore unless we got a reasonable deal. It doesn't have to be, cheap, but reasonable, I think. Sorless says, I'm hearing we're in on Gilmore. Don't know how to feel about it. I don't mind. I think he's a good corner, but again, I don't want to overpay. I think overpaying would be a bad move for him. Samuel says, if Thibodeau not there at 4, who would you go for? Sauce? Depends who's there, right? Because we're assuming Hutchinson is 1. Thibodeau could fit at 2 or 3. Hamilton could fit at 3. So I've heard outside chance. Drake London, Sauce Gardner, 2 guys that Detroit is eyeing right now. I'm sure quarterback is probably in there too, but I don't believe it, but that's what I've been told. So it's going to be interesting to see what winds up happening. I would say if Thibodeau's not there, I would look at whoever your top edge rusher is. I think that's really, really important. If you don't have a favorite edge rusher, then yeah, look at Sauce at 4, and then pull you the trigger on the edge rusher at 10. But I think you got to come away in the top 10 with an edge rusher. The same way I felt you had to come away with a left tackle in the Becton draft. As much as I wanted CeeDee Lamb, I understand the need and where you want to go with it. Chris says, "Hey brother, do you think trading for DK is even on the table for the Jets?" No, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to give up the number 10 pick for him, and I don't think Seattle would give him up for just the 10th pick. Lord Supreme says, "Okay, Jets finally moving in the right direction. Take care of your own. That played well. Berrios, Coleman, good move on Lake and Tomlinson too. Who's next?" I don't know, but I really like what they're doing. You reward the players that played well for you. Tevin Coleman, Braxton Berrios. Joe Douglas said this at the Combine. I absolutely love it. Pappy drops in with a super chat. Pappy says, "We can get Devontae Adams franchise tag at $20 million and give the Packers our 10 overall." I guess you could get him on the franchise tag. He said he's not playing on the franchise tag, and I would imagine if he was traded to the Jets, he would definitely not play on the franchise tag. Now, you could go the route of signing him off the franchise tag and give up 2 first-round picks. I don't know if that has to be like 4 and 10, or if it's 10 and maybe 1 next year. Or I wouldn't want to do that. I think you're going to have to re-sign Devontae Adams for like a $30 million contract, and I don't particularly want to give up a first-round pick and pay him that much, especially a top 10 pick. If he was a free agent, $30 million, go for it. Make it rain, baby. I'm all about it. But I don't want to trade that much for him. David says, AJ Boye would be a sneaky good pickup. Experience and depth, cheap option. I don't know what his play style is, but I saw he was released from the Panthers, so I think we should do our due diligence. Noah says, Ryan, what do you think about the Christian Kirk's bonkers contract? I think every team in the NFL is furious at the Jaguars. This is the same kind of deal that the Raiders gave like Nnamdi Asomugha back when the Jets were trying to re-sign Revis. Like, Asomugha was paid like $5 or $6 million more than the second highest paid corner, and we were stuck with Revis, who was definitely better than Asomugha. But like, what are you gonna do? You can't say like, oh yeah, no, we like you, but we just don't like you as much as they like Asomugha. That was the issue we wound up running into, and this is exactly the issue that a lot of teams are going to run into with wide receiver. So maybe because the wide receiver market has exploded so much this offseason, maybe you have to take receiver at 10 because teams are going to start jumping at receivers towards that tail end of the first because they couldn't capture guys in free agency. That's a little alarming for me because I really think the sweet spot for receiver is the second round, and I'm hoping I'm not jumping the gun on this one. Bino says, really starting to think Sauce will be the pick at 4. He will be gone at 10. I really think he's going to be gone by 10. I think Atlanta winds up pulling the trigger on him. If it were me, I'd go into the draft. I'm still trying to get an edge rusher. Like, if Sauce falls to 4, maybe you pull the trigger on Sauce and maybe you consider trading for Danielle Hunter. I don't know when his contract has to be traded by, like if he has some cap hits that are coming up. Actually, let me pull this up real quick. Let me do a little bit of recon so I don't screw this up, because I've looked into him before, but I always forget what it is by the time I wind up walking away. All right, so Danielle Hunter, he's due $3.3 million as of March 20th, so just 6 days from now, it becomes guaranteed. So I don't know if of his base becomes guaranteed. So I guess you could still trade for him. Oh, no, sorry, that's the 2021 contract. So this year's contract for him, you're talking $20 million, and then you'd have to re-sign him after the year because you'd only be making $5 million next year. So realistically, you're bringing him in and signing him to a new deal. If you think that his body's healthy and he's good to go, 28 years old is a young edge rusher. Like, you're looking at some of these edge rushers getting some monster contracts right now. I think it would be a good move to consider if you don't go edge early, because maybe you have to use that number 10 pick on a receiver. But I agree. I do like Sauce at 4. But I think you got to get an edge rusher. GMB says Hamilton and Jermaine Johnson at 10. I love me some Jermaine Johnson. Love me that. Noah says, what do you think about signing Zadarius Smith? I would go after him. Apparently there's going to be a pretty big market for him. Maybe he would look to sign a 1-year deal with us, because then we could decide between him and Lawson, unless he's getting a real fat contract. Because I hear the cap is supposed to go like astronomically high next year. So it might be better to kind of punt 1 year after they're already talking about your back injury. Unless your back's hurt, then you should just grab the money now. But we'll see. Philip says, I believe Detroit is looking at a quarterback because they don't. They also have the last pick in the first round. I don't think they take a quarterback at 2, but at 30 or 32, I could see them taking a quarterback. So they do have the 32nd pick from the Rams, but I think it's 100% telegraphed that is where they would prefer to take a quarterback. And I think anyone looking to get a quarterback at the end of the first round is going to jump the Lions right there. So it would not shock me. If you think that Malik Willis could possibly go 10 in a trade up or maybe 9 to the Seahawks, is it that far of a reach to think he could go number 2? I don't know. I didn't peg Detroit for a quarterback this offseason, but I do think it's on the table. Bino says, Wagner wants to stay out west, according to reports. That doesn't surprise me. NY Jets fan says Allen Robinson's going to get like $20 million. I think he's going to get more than that. I think he's going to get like 22. I don't think you get Christian Kirk for 21 and Allen Robinson is like, oh yeah, no, I'll take 17. Maybe it's the age thing, but like, I don't know. I want Allen Robinson for like 17, I think. 16, 17 would be the sweet spot. Any higher than that, it gets me like a little uneasy. Anthony G says, every year there are 5 to 6 receivers in the draft as good or better than Kirk. Why does anyone drop that kind of money on a high-end number 3 receiver like him? Well, I think it's because you don't believe he's a high-end number 3. I don't think you give him that much money unless you think he is a number 1. I think he's phenomenal. You think opposite DeAndre Hopkins. Who's the other receiver they had out there? It was Hopkins. You had Ertz. Oh, AJ Green. So I don't know. I would not pay Kirk like that. I thought it was crazy when it read 17 million initially. But to hear like 21, get the flock out of here. Poe Jiden stares. Did you see the Jets trade? Do you see the Jets trading down at 4? It depends who's there. If you really if you get whacked at the beginning of this draft and you have, say, like Hutchinson, Thibodeau, and Sauce all go, and you've already fixed your offensive line, so you're not looking at Neal or Ekwonu, and you don't love the idea of taking Hamilton at 4, then yeah, I think you trade down. I would err on the side of going your favorite edge rusher, or if there's a situation like, say, Thibodeau's like not on your list because of whatever, and then you have Hutch, maybe Sauce goes 2, and then whoever you would think is the next valuable player at 3 goes, then yeah, you probably look to trade down. But I think we're going to get a really strong blue chip player at number 4, and I don't ideally want to trade down from there unless I'm getting like a nice ransom of picks back. And I'm not sure I see that with this quarterback class here. Dave says, this class is deep in edge. Sauce would be a great addition. A true shutdown should help the pass rush. Now, I think you have to help the pass rush first and foremost. But I think if you think you can get your edge rush at 10 or you can trade for Danielle Hunter, adding Sauce at 4 is just a special move. I like Sauce a lot. I think you have to try and target some of these top-end premier positions with these early picks. So that way you don't wind up, you get the benefit of these rookie contracts. That's really what I'm trying to get at here. Sauce at 4, Edge at 10, Pierce and Watson at 35 and 38, tight end at 69, says Rick. I wouldn't hate. I would almost prefer Ruckert in the 3rd than like McBride in the 2nd, but tight end is such a massive need. I think we're going to double dip. So if McBride's there at 35, I think you kind of have to pull that. Ooh, the Jets just got CJ Uzomah. Let's go, boys and girls. Let's see. 3-year, $24 million. Whew. I like it. All right, let's pull this one. Pull this one up. Let's see if I can edit this. Try and do this on the fly. Whoops. Come on. Let's see. CJ. How do I spell that? Uzomah. 3 years. $24 million. All right. Bam! Check that out. Jets get themselves a tight end. Let's pull up his stats. All right. So he is 28 years old. Last year he played in all 16 games, had 49 receptions, 493 yards, 5 touchdowns. All right, $8 million a year. That's what tight ends are going for now. That's what tight ends are going for. I don't mind it. I think you get the veteran edge or get the veteran tight end like you want it. Now you can go into the draft and take your tight end in the second round if you want. You don't have to reach. Eddie DeJesus says, "Hell yeah, I've been saying CJ forever." Yes, I like it. I'm happy with this. Jets needed a veteran tight end, and that market was getting sucked up real quick. I was hoping for maybe like the upside of O.J. Howard, but I think this guy is going to be a real good addition from everything that I'm kind of looking at here. Now, let me see if I could pull up his Pro Football Focus and just kind of get an idea of where we're looking as far as like his actual grading goes. Sorry. All right. I'm going to find this. Let's see what we got. All right. So CJ Uzomah? Can't pronounce that correctly. Whatever. All right. So pass blocking grade this past year was a 70.6. Everything else is right around the mid 60s. Offensive overall grade was 63.6. It's not going to be your, an elite option, but I think it's absolutely worth the swing. I think you're going to wind up bringing in a tight end in the draft, and everything will be happy. Yo, it's Vin. Let's fucking go! In JG we trust. This has been like a really nice start to free agency, and it's kind of exactly the way I thought it was going to go in terms of like us not spending crazy money. There's a few players I would have preferred to maybe like go in different routes, but I love getting Berrios back, love getting Laken Tomlinson, love getting Coleman back, and now CJ Uzomah. Love it, boys and girls. All right, let's see. Aaron says, although I like Coleman, I'm just afraid of his injury history. Would still like another back to complement Michael Carter. For the first time, I'm loving JD's moves. I liked JD's moves last year. I really liked the Keelan Cole signing. It just didn't work out. Lawson wound up getting injured, which sucks. Vinny Curry I liked, but he got hurt. Like, I like a lot of the players we wound up bringing in. But I really like this offseason right now. You're doing things the right way, the smart way. You're not overpaying guys. Not paying $21 million to Christian Kirk. This is a smart move. Smart move for the New York Jets. Love it. Sorless says, we have 2 CJs to go with 2 MCs. DJ Bomb says, love the pick, honestly. Thought he'd stay with the Bengals, but glad he's here. My guess would be they're going to try and target Gronk if they can. I don't know if Gronk's re-signed with Tampa Bay, but I know he was tweeting a little bit about going to Cincinnati, and I don't know if he would leave Tom Brady. Man, I like this. This is a good move. Zachary says, Bengals are mostly a wideout team. Uzomah. There we go. See, this is how you pronounce things. Uzomah. This is why I need the chat. I need the chat so that way we pronounce things correctly. CJ is a great vet presence who was the security blanket for Burrow and can be a culture builder. I love Joe Douglas and his damn culture builders. Big fan of that. Let's see if I can move this out of the way so we can still read that. Bam! All right, I'm going to move this down. See, this is me adding my own special effects. Behind the scenes, look at this. Nick H goes, Ryan, we did it! We got a tight end! Yeah! Upvote party. Yo, members in the chat, drop some JETS. I want to see some JETS in here. I haven't seen any of the emojis in a while. Show some love. Joshua drops in with a super chat. Joshua says, my guess would be we trade with Carolina so they can jump the Giants and take either Icky or Neal. Hope the Jets grab Gage, then draft Pickens in the second round. I really like Pickens. Pickens is really talented. I think he could be the top wide receiver if he didn't get hurt. I heard rumors he didn't have like the best personality, so we're gonna have to take a deeper dive into that. But his talent is friggin' awesome. As far as the Panthers jumping the Giants, I don't think the Panthers make that move. I really think the Panthers wind up getting Deshaun Watson, and I think it's going to be the Texans sitting at 6, and they're going to be able to pick whatever they want at 3 because they're going to have that pick at 6 along with probably some other picks as well. I would say there's a good opportunity for the Jets to maybe slide back with a team like the Giants. Like maybe we jump back one slot, like, hey, yo, these teams are coming up. They're trying to ask for this lineman. Let's give the Jets maybe a 3rd round pick, and we're going to move up one slot so that way we can get the offensive lineman we want, just in case they're looking to like trade that pick. Be interesting. Interesting stuff. Lots of things going on, boys and girls. We got almost 700 people in here, boys and girls. Hit that like button. Come on. Show your boys some love. Oh, no. Russia's in the chat. Russia says we need offense. We need offense, for sure. Albert Sue says, CJ, block 2, Tomlinson, light a fire under Becton. I want this. I want someone to fire up this fan base, and I think we got a big old nasty on the offensive line. You get some tight end help. You bring back your favorite wide receiver for your quarterback. I'm liking this. We're making some moves here. I'm a big fan of this. ATC Ace says, quit waving your arms back in the beginning of every video. You look stupid. Sorry. It's all right. I love waving my arms. You can go kick rocks. Let's see. Jake says, absorbing all this all post work. I like Berrios and Tomlinson. Tomlinson, one of the guys I wanted. I like Uzomah. If we draft another tight end, meh on Coleman. I like Coleman. I think it's probably going to be a cheap deal. I think he signed a 1-year, $1 million contract last year. So I don't mind that, like, coming back. I'm guessing it's probably a 1-year, $1 million contract. Tomlinson, I love. Berrios, I love. Uzomah, I'm pumped. We needed it. So there we go. Let's see. What else we got? We got... Your screen is blacked out, buddy. I don't know. Looks fine to me. Sorry about that. Derek Luker says, come on, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like. There we go. Look at Joe S. Oh, God, I love it. John says, Ryan, the Jets have to sign Allen Robinson now. They keep waiting too long and keep missing out. I don't think they're necessarily missing out on Allen Robinson. I do think they're trying to be smart, and if $21 million is what gets you Christian Kirk, I think it's smart to wait a little bit longer and see what Allen Robinson gets. I don't want to give him $21 million. Dante Jackson, that's exactly what I'm hoping we go for. That would be a nice move. Let's see. Sauce and Hamilton, 4 and 10, if possible. If Hamilton winds up falling, I'm all about taking him at 10. But I really want an edge rush. If this happens, I'm definitely trading for Danielle Hunter. Like that, I think that has to be on the back burner of like, okay, if you don't go edge rusher early in this draft, I don't know what other edge rushers there are that you could possibly trade for, but I want to have some type of options here. Let's see. Ytigo says, do you pass on McBride at 35 and go Ruckert in the 3rd with this pickup? I still go McBride at 35 personally. Yeah, no, so would I. I think I like Ruckert a lot. And if you want to add him, I'm okay with that. But I don't think you run the risk of passing on McBride and then worry about possibly having Ruckert go before your 3rd round pick. So if you think that you like a few tight ends, Ruckert being one of them, and you want to wait till the 3rd round, I'm okay with that. But I do think you can see McBride and just how established he is. Now, he was fed the ball a lot at Colorado State, so I think you're probably seeing more of his ceiling. But again, he's going to be playing in more games, so even though he had 1,100 yards this year, that could top out a lot more. But I do like McBride a lot. I would take McBride. I would take Ruckert. I would take Charlie Kolar. Jake Ferguson's an interesting name to look at. I think Jelani Woods is interesting as well. Lots of tight ends. I don't think you necessarily have to pull the trigger at 35 for McBride because I think you can get some really good value between 3 and like the 3rd and 5th rounds. But I do want to see McBride just because he's like the best tight end in the draft, or at least most people think that. Roman says, don't let anybody tell you BS. You're awesome. Roman, you're awesome. You make me smile. J-Man asks, how much cap space do we have left? I don't know because we don't know all the details on all the contracts and when things are going to hit at this point in time, but I would love to know that for sure. I think we're at $48 million prior to any cuts or signings, so it's going to be interesting to see where we're at now. I think we hold on to our players that we think we're going to cut until we eventually wind up, needing to cut them. I don't think you cut players just to make extra space. You wait until you need to sign someone. Anthony G. Ryan, gonna look like one of those car dealership inflatable wacky waving inflatable arm flailing too, Brian. That's the... Oh, God. I'm sorry. Shushu says, I think we need KT. If both pass rushers are gone, you need to trade back. What do you think about picks? About picks now? What do you think about picks now? If I'm trading down, I'm hoping for 2023 picks. I think we have enough picks in this draft where I'm cool passing on it for next year. Maybe if you can pick up like a later second this year, and then maybe a second next year in some capacity, that would be pretty cool. Let's see. Don't judge the drip. Says Justin Reed's Darius Smith, Dante Jackson, JD, make it happen. That would be a nice little thing right there. All right. What are you spamming in the chat right now? Guess who's getting hidden from this channel? Boom. I got to get my Nightbot back so I can unspam these things. All right. Sorry. Losing my train of thought here. Reyes Muhammad says, we need Tyrann Mathieu. I like it. I like Matthew a lot. Kent said, bro, do you remember me saying I didn't want to hear anything until we fixed the O-line? Now we need pass rush. Let's go, brother. Yes, I want pass rush. Whoa. Our buddy Bo Jiden Stairs drops in with a $20 super chat. Thanks, brother. Really means a lot. He says, through the ups and the downs, more downs lately. I was in high school when the Jets were good back in 2009. Then they went back-to-back AFC Championship games. Let's hope we can get back to those good old days. Dude, I want that so bad. I was actually in college when we had that whole run, and it was one of the most fun times of being a Jet fan because so many people came out of the woodworks to just like support the Jets. There's a lot of closet Jet fans we don't see on a normal basis because we've stunk for so long. Like, legitimately, my channel analytics are telling me that my best times of year are like from a month ago to like the draft. And that's it. Like, for the 4 years I've been doing this channel, I want to be excited in season. I really want to. So, Mr. Stairs, thank you. Fernando drops in with super chat, says, cut Griffin, Greg Van Roten, sign Marcus Williams on to the draft. I like that. You save, I think, is it $3 million from, I thought it was $3 million from Griffin. Let's see. I know it's 3 from Greg Van Roten. Greg Van Roten is 3.5, and then Griffin is 3. So you'd save $6 million right there. Figure out what you're going to do with that. Look at Skyler helping out the cause. Like the stream, boys and girls, we got almost 900 people in here. There's no reason we can't have more than 400 likes. Boys, we got a guard. We got a wide receiver back. We got our tight end coming in. Gets me excited. I apologize if you're watching this after the fact. I'm just yelling into a microphone right now. Let's see. Josh Goat Allen says, you guys are the only team in the AFC East that I want to succeed in second place, of course. But quick question, how is your offseason going? Josh, nice to have you in from the Buffalo channel. I actually don't hate the Bills. As much as I want us to win anytime possible, I don't hate the Bills, so it's nice to have a little civil conversation here. The Jets are really excited about our offseason. It's nothing flashy, but we're making the right signings. We signed a starting right guard. We brought back a favorite target in Braxton Berrios for Zach Wilson. You bring in, CJ Uzomah, and you bring back Tevin Coleman. Smart moves, the way the Jets are doing this right now. Smart moves. Dan O. Let's see. Dan O drops in with a super chat. Says, how is cap space looking now after these signings? We're going to have to look. But if we do some quick math, if we say Coleman is $1 million, because that's what he got last year, we're thinking $12 million for Tomlinson, so you're at 13. 6 for Barrios is, what is that? 19 plus Uzomah for 8. You're talking $27 million. But that's like if it's like the average annual salary, generally speaking. You'll see like an escalation in contract as years progress throughout the contract. So it's probably a little less than that. If we spent $27 million, then you're looking at $20 million before any cuts that we make. So not the worst. Jake says, I was at the last game in the old Giants Stadium against the Bengals to get into the playoffs. Back then, snuck into a box suite, got kicked out fast considering I had a Jets robe on. Yeah, I would say they probably know if there's a guy in a Jets robe who should be in that room or not. Miles says, I like this signing. Security blanket for Wilson. Need to have it. Absolutely. Noah says, Ryan Connor Hughes just tweeted out that we aren't done yet. I don't think we are done yet. I think we're still looking at Marcus Williams. I think we're still looking at, Justin Reed, Tyrann Mathieu, a few guys out there for sure, Allen Robinson. But I like that. I'm a fan of Connor Hughes. I think he's one of the better beat reporters. G-Man says, I've been a Jets fan for more than 50 years. Unlike other years, I have great expectations for this coming season. Now, we just need to focus on helping our young quarterback because we need him to make that leap in year 2. Gotta have it. FM says, Coleman probably got a raise to $2 million. If it's $2 million and he performed well, I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. I think it's really just a 1-year contract either way. Samuel Nick says, would you trade 4 for 2 of the Eagles' first-round picks? It depends who's at that first pick. Who's at 4? Are the Eagles coming up for Thibodeau or an edge rusher? That's kind of what I've heard. I would strongly consider it. For sure. There's a few edges I like that I think you get at 10. And then if you're going, back to, let's say you get 15 and 19, or maybe you get 16 and 19, they keep 15. Then you're in prime position to go after someone like Nakobe Dean. Wide receiver, probably. You're going to be right in the mix there. I don't know if you probably won't get the top one unless you go the top one at 10. But I think you still have to go edge rusher. Edge rusher is pretty important. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Trading with the Eagles there. Snipes says, easy, could make 1 or 2 more decent moves with our cap space. 100% agree. 100% agree. Lots of space. Anthony Thomas drops in, says, I remember 2009, 2010 also. My dad said, son, it's going to be a very long time until we see the Jets get back at this point, maybe 10 years. Here we are, Jets. It's been over 10 years. Dude, I remember watching those games, and it was some of the most exciting football that I got to watch. And by and large, I've been very, very lucky that I have been alive for the 32 years that I've been alive for because I've seen 3 AFC championship games and like a bunch of playoffs compared to like everything that the more seasoned Jet fans have seen. I would say I'm pretty lucky with what I've gotten so far. Elliot Orr, thank you for the $1 super chat, brother. I see your comment right here too. So he says, what do you think of the new Jets mock where we get Kayvon Thibodeau and Lloyd at 4 and 10. Gardner was taken at 8 on it. I'll be honest, I don't really want to take linebacker in the top 10. I think that would be a misallocation of resources. I would be fine with it in the trade down situation where maybe we slide back down to pick 10 or so. But I really do not want to see linebacker at number 10. I think you have to go receiver if you get your edge rusher at 4 and you're not pulling the trigger on, obviously Gardner going at 8. This is why I think Gardner would have to go at 4 if you want him. But obviously edge rusher I feel is more important. So I think that's probably the route I would choose to go. Nicholas drops in with a super chat. Nicholas says, Honey Badger time. Let's effing go. How much would the Jets need to pony up to snag him? You got to think he's looking for top safety money. Yeah, I would think $15 million a year. If you could get him on like a, 3-year, $45 million contract, maybe that's something you consider. Safety's tough. I would prefer Marcus Williams because you're getting the age there. That's really what I'm looking for. Ahmad Afrana. Thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, love your channel. Keep it up, bro. Oh, thank you. You see, waving the arms around. What do you think about the Jets drafting Cade Mays in the 4th or 5th round? He has potential to be a solid right guard starter in the future after Tomlinson leaves in 3 years. I'll be honest, I don't know who Cade Mays is, but I do think the Jets should target a guard a center, something along those lines at that point in the draft in the 4th, 5th round. So that way you can kind of groom them. I'd prefer like a Alec Lindstrom, someone along those lines, guy that's played center, and then you have the opportunity to maybe move him over to guard if you have to. Oreo says, I was just watching highlights of Chad Pennington and Curtis Martin. Brings a tear to my eye. I love it. Sean says, 2010 was an amazing season. I lived in Syracuse and got to experience Hard Knocks camp in Cortland. Got to go to games in Buffalo and Manning playoff win in Indy. So I actually was in college at Binghamton at the time of the 2009-10 championship game. So I was right below Cortland. Cortland's a fun time. I got to go, one of my best buddies went to school there, so I got to frequent there quite often. DeAndre Brown, do you think Corey Davis will have a big year? I think he will. He was on pace for a really good year this past year, and I think it's only going to get better as Zach Wilson's accuracy gets dialed in and our offensive line gets a little bit better. So I'm really happy. Dame says, I would really prefer Sauce at 4 and Johnson at 10, but whatever Joe Bagga Douglas does, I like it. Yeah, no, look, I trust Joe Douglas. I've been saying it for like 2 years now. In Joe, we trust. In Joe, we trust. Let's see. Oreo says, is CJ any good? Any Bengals fans here that can tell me? Bengals fans, let us know in the chat just how much you do or don't like him, because I would love to hear some insider information there. Jets aren't done yet. Connor Hughes, let's go. Let's see. What else are we talking about in here? Zonal Window says, next move will be a safety. I hope so. We're all hoping safety. Fingers crossed. Duncan says, 6'6" tight end. It's a matchup nightmare. Love it. Rick, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. It means a lot. He says, if we can trade down at 10 to about 20 and a second rounder we can pick up, defense in the first round, and load up for Zach 35, 38, and hopefully someone 40 to 50 and 69. Yeah, I want to double dip at defense in the first round because that's where the talent is for sure. I know Green Bean's been saying it forever, but I think based on how free agency is going and where the strengths are that we've kind of attacked, I would definitely like this. It depends who's available at 10, I think. But if you could trade back to like 20, I would love to pick up a first next year, ideally. But if you can't pick up that first, then yeah, picking up a second this year and then maybe a second next year would be pretty cool. I'd be all about it. Love it. Thanks, Rick. John with the super chat comes in. Trayvon Walker, the edge at 4, Sauce or Drake London at 10. That would be legit. Absolutely legit. I would really like that. Trayvon Walker, Joe Blewett loves Walker. 35-inch arms. Dude's got an eagle wingspan. Would be really cool. He's got some great bend, too. Actually, if you look at the timestamp on Blewett's breakdown of Trayvon Walker, it's before the combine. So he's saying all this stuff before you even get to the combine and all these blown up stats and everything. So I love it. I think it's a good move. 2 hopefully says, we are the best fans. We go through a lot of BS. I'm loving the moves right now. We are bonded together by our sadness that this franchise has historically brought us. And I just want to see victories. I want to see some wins this year. But Joe Douglas, I love everything that he's doing. Like, I understand if you're frustrated about his 2020 draft class, but his free agent signings have been pretty rock solid. Hasn't put us in any sort of cap hell. He's been making some great trades. I think his rookie class last year was the best of all the teams in the NFL. I like it. I like it. Okay, says, Jets Talk 24/7. Dude, this team is looking more like the 2009 Jets, but with a quarterback. Oh, man, that would be nice, right? Like, if you had a legit defense. The defense isn't there yet. The defense was number 1, so I can't necessarily say that. But I think it's exciting. This is probably the best offensive line we've had since those years, for sure. Hunter says, my buddy is a Bengals fan, so I've seen a lot of their games. CJ is a solid over-the-middle tight end with very reliable hands. Great for Wilson. Safety blanket, baby. Love it. Bino says, Sean, I'm in New England too. You would think Brady unretired to come back to the Pats the way these people are acting. I can only imagine. I feel bad for the Jamoke that bought a $500,000 last ball from Tom Brady, the last touchdown. Ooh, that is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Satisfying Short says, I believe that Sauce Gardner is the best player in this draft. What do you think? So I have heard a lot of rumors from people that I think are pretty reliable that there's an outside chance that Sauce goes number 2 to the Lions. He is from Michigan. That would be keeping a Michigan guy in Detroit, as well as Aaron Glenn being the defensive coordinator there from the Saints. Loved his time with Marshawn Lattimore down there. So I think there's a real shot that they go after Sauce at 2. I hope that's not the case because I'm hoping he kind of falls to 4. We'll see what winds up happening there. Chance Little says, really cool story on CJ is he was banged up before the Super Bowl and was in question to play. The Bengals had a celebration after the AFC Championship game, and he threw a knee brace, and he threw his knee brace off when asked if if he was going to play, and the stadium erupted. Seems like a great team guy. This is cool. That's like, you want to bring in these high character guys and players that like want to be here. I really like this. All right, boys and girls, I am going to hop off right now because I'm going to try and have some dinner. I'm coming back at 8 o'clock for our live call-in show, so I will absolutely be back for this. Slim God says, now you're happy, but weren't you just bashing Chase? What? When was I bashing Joe Douglas? No way. Get out of here. I'm like the biggest Joe Douglas supporter. No. I really like Joe Douglas. I think he's absolutely he's the GOAT GM for us. 100%. Guys, we got 1,000 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. I'll be back at 8 o'clock. We're doing phone calls. I want to hear all your reactions to everything. Boys, it's been fun. This is Jets Talk, signing off. Jets!